So this is an update video to our bargain cabin in Sweden, northern Sweden, Lapland. We came out this year with a very limited budget, so we've only spent about £300, but we've done a lot on the outside of the building and cleared a lot on the inside. So give you a tour of everything we've done, including a look back of how things used to look, so you can see the difference. So a view of the front of the cabin. We've gone round and replaced broken windows and re-putted in. We've repainted the whole house with the traditional red paint, white trim and black at the bottom. We've also repainted the steps to black, including that big stone, welcoming stone, and something we found in the Loppis, which is cost about £2.50 each. They're metal ducks and they are homage to Coronation Street. So as you can see, it's a lot nicer looking from the front. The red paint looks great, the black looks brilliant, really sets it off, and of course the ducks look wonderful. It's a lovely day again today, 17 degrees. I've even got the shorts on. The other day it was 4 degrees in the day and there was a snow warning. Today it's 17 and probably a suntan warning. It really does change rapidly here, and if you look around you can see autumn's really in full bloom. So onto this side of the house. This is where we spent a lot of time. It was covered in half clad, where it had been started to be stripped off, and what we've done is completely stripped it back. The window stuck right out once you remove the cladding, so we had to cut the window back and remove the windows from the outside to the inside. So about a week's work, all of it up a ladder with a crowbar. I'm not good with heights, so every day I'd spend some time at the top and have to come down, but it looks great. Really has improved it. I'll show you now a picture of what it used to look like. So a big improvement. Like I said, I had to cut that window back and reset the windows from the outside to the inside, and just gave those a refit. Quite a few were broken. We get the glass locally, costs about £8.50 per pane, but they cut it exactly the size, so it's brilliant. Also that hatch door had to be cut back and relined on the inside. Like I say, about a week's work here. There was one piece of wood I couldn't remove at the very top, and the white paint we've done, we still need to do the ends of the building, which we're going to do that next year. But overall looks fantastic, and it shows the history of this building, how it's been moved. We know the building could be up to 200 years old, been moved a few times, and I probably showed you this before, but there are the markings that where they rebuild these houses once they move them. And we think it was moved about 80 years ago. So onto the back of the house. I'm standing on the rail line just next to the house. We believe this used to be the original front entrance. You can see there, it looks a lot nicer, tidied up. The guttering's all been cleared, the ladder refitted roughly, and all painted with the black, traditional black at the bottom, red. It looks fantastic. Again, I'll show you a picture of how it used to look. So there's the window refitted on the back, like I say, all painted. The guttering is all cleared. It kind of works now. A lot of the brackets are bent. I need to get new brackets because I can't really bend them back, so I think next year I'm gonna just buy some new brackets and put the guttering back up straight. And there's the route up to the chimney, which I'll show you later on, works perfectly. So the final side of the house, there's our lovely strawberry patch. Again, all painted up. It's interesting, at the very top there was a splinter of wood coming down that wasn't removed. So I think whoever cleared this originally before us had the same problem I did at the other end and just left a piece of wood and painted it over. So I will get it down one day, I'm sure. There's our wonderful strawberries, grown about 50 babies. Looking forward to coming back next year, see how they do. Yeah, the Northern Lights were absolutely amazing, night after night, and really easy to see. Real treat for us this year. Hopefully the same next year. Now I'll take you in the house and show you what we've done inside, which is mostly just clearing things, but it's quite interesting. So into the entrance, or the boot room, which we're going to make it in the future, this was all covered in laminate. We pulled that up and there's a lovely wooden floor underneath. So I'll give you a look round it now and just talk about what we plan to do with this area next year. So this hallway is double height, and what we plan to do is rip all of this open, make it an open area and insulate from the inside. There is concrete and this is a metal base. I think this used to be a small stove or something there because there's a chimney upstairs. We'd love to put a potbelly stove back into here. And I'll show you now. We're going to strip this back, take the ceiling down, remove all these cupboards, and I'll give you a look upstairs. So all of this will be removed, the inside, and we'll line this area from the inside, insulate it all, repair any holes. And there's the original chimney that used to go up to the outside. We will probably get that replaced with a double insulated one and a proper chimney on the outside. We'd like to have this open, a staircase coming up the middle, and line all this ceiling and make it a feature of this area. Possibly have a walkway to sit in front of this window. A quick look up into the rest of the house. This is the loft, and it's very big. You can stand up in it easily, 10 foot high in the middle. We're going to eventually make this 2 rooms, 2 bedrooms, one each side with a window at each end. Here is the fireplace chimney that goes up. We've run the chimney, I'll go through that later. This got lovely and warm, so this will be heating in a way for upstairs. But a lot to do, and this is one of our big plans next year, is to floor this, line it, and just put in the readiness for 2 rooms. Have a stairway coming up the middle, and have this as a big open area. So a lot of plans, a lot of work next year. So going into the kitchen area, and I'll walk you through what we've done in here and what we've changed. So coming into the kitchen, these units were over the other side of the room. We are thinking of reusing these as the start of a kitchen. That's the hatch down to the potato silo, which I've got another video on. You can see that's just staying nice and constant at around 8 degrees down there. The idea is to have, because we've got water in, water out down there, to limit our plumbing as much as possible. So plumbing for the sink and going through to the bathroom behind. There's the window we had to rebuild, so we moved the panes from the outside to the in. There was a couple of cracked ones on the inside, still need replacing. But that's an fully opening, not double glazing, but the outside panes, inside panes give a good insulation. And you can see the space is huge. We're happy with the ceiling in here. We're going to keep this, probably repaint it, and then look at fitting out a kitchen and dining area in this room. So what we did do, we fired up the log burner, and also we used this spit. Heated up really quickly. We've got a broken plate there because we tried to warm some plates and it was a lot hotter than we thought in the oven. But it worked perfectly. Had a brilliant draw, heated up quickly. We even cooked a full breakfast on this, including coffee pot. Really, really nice. So we may replace this spit in the future for a bigger one. And spit is a Swedish word for log burning cooker. So going from the kitchen out to this little hallway, this was all laminate floor. We've exposed all this and it's beautiful wood floor going into what's going to be the bathroom as well. I'll give you a little better look at that and show you what it used to look like. So the floor is a bit rough. You can see where cupboard used to be and there's been a bit of damage in some places, but it's very solid and I'm sure this is going to sand up and be beautiful. Certainly something we want to keep. This will be eventually the bathroom. We're having a debate whether we should put something over the glass to make it frosted, but I quite like the idea of looking out into the woods and the railway track. There's only 2 trains a day come through, one on the way out for the woodcutters and one on the way back. So into the front room, or the main room of the house, as you can see, we've completely stripped back all the wood panelling that was on the walls and ceiling. Some of the wood from the walls were reused in the potato cellar. The ceiling was difficult to get off, it's split. Some of it may be reused. But you can see when we have exposed the original tongue and groove ceiling and walls, and I'll give you a better look around those now and what it used to look like. So a look around, you can see the original tongue and groove. It's in pretty good condition. This area here, you can see on the floor, the way the floor's laid out and the way the walls and ceiling are laid out, was probably an old entrance hall or a cupboard or something when it was a classroom or a school. Looking around, it's kind of beautiful, the colours. There's a gap look through, one of the planks has come down, got broken, and he's going to need a few repairs, and it certainly needs tacking and screwing back up in some places, because I think the weight of the other cladding pulled it down a bit. But it's a big room, roughly 30 foot by 20 foot almost, so it's a huge room that we want to make the most of. We've got our new settee and our old settees laid out. We've had a few evenings up here running the fire and testing everything out. I'll show you a little clip of the fire. So this is the fire we had going. I've seen YouTube saying that these are popular in Siberia and it takes 24 hours to get it completely warm. What we did This is metal full of concrete, and behind it is the big concrete chimney that goes all the way up the house, sat behind it. But the small fire pit runs there, and it doesn't feed out until it gets to the top, where that cleaning hole is, to the back. We sort of mastered how to light it. You open the vent at the side, you start a small fire, open the vent at the side, then you can completely close that, and as it warms the chimney, you then close the side vent and can reopen this. We ran it for roughly 6 to 8 hours, and it was a cold day, about 5 degrees, and we got this room up to 20 degrees over at the far wall on that thermometer. That was brilliant. We ran it till evening and left it. The next morning it was still 15 in here, and this metal was still hot to touch, or pretty warm to touch, and it restarted quite instantly in the morning. We were worried that it wasn't going to be big enough to heat the room, and we should have known better, but it is. Once you've got it going, we came back a few times, and within an hour you can get this room up by 10 degrees. So superb invention, if you like, old-fashioned invention. I'm sure this fire's been there a long time, and it's going to work for this house, especially at the moment. We've still got broken glass on the inside. We've got virtually a hole in the wall there. Some of the doors don't close 100%. So I think once we've insulated and worked on the cabin, this fireplace is going to be a brilliant asset. So like I said before, we're tight on budget this year, but luckily for us, paint in Sweden for outside is cheap. So we spent just roughly £200 on the red, white and black paint for the outside, about £80 on the glass. So the rest of it has just been labour, our labour time. So like I say, once again, I know it's gone down well, because we've had a few locals come round just to have a look at what we've been doing to the house, and they've said how impressed they are with seeing somebody go up a ladder painting this old house. So it looks a lot better. It's really increased its curb appeal. We did have a little bit of red paint left over, which we didn't want to waste, so we did do the outhouse down the bottom, and I'm sure next year we'll be doing the garage and the sheds. So I hope you enjoyed that look around what we've been doing. Like I say, we spend probably about half of our time here working, half of the other time pleasure, but it's a good time of year to work. There's a lot of manual work and painting, but it's well worth it. It's helped protect the cabin, and we're starting to prepare for next year. Like I say, next year we'd like to floor out the ceiling, make the staircase, make the front entrance ready, so we can look at what we're going to make upstairs for the bedroom size. But it's been really enjoyable, really enjoyed it. It's been a wonderful trip out here. We're already looking forward to coming back next year. But and once again, thanks everybody who watches and likes, subscribes and comments. Really does encourage us, and see you on the next video.